I am Z Slingsby here, and I get to, can you guys all hear me? Yeah? Okay, good. I get to introduce one of the first gals I got to meet when we put this whole group together, because those of you guys who know her, she's got like this fiery personality, and she like just will grab onto you and make you feel so welcome. And I didn't know anybody in this group, and she was really like the first person I got to know. So I'm so honored to introduce her to all of you. If you guys could just please mute your lines. Thank you. Kristine Carroll is going to be speaking in a couple of minutes. And just a little bit of background on Kristine. So she's been married 23 years to her husband, Lincoln, and she made me say that she got married when she was 5 years old. 5 years old, 23 years. That's so awesome. And she has an 11-year-old son named Lincoln. She's out of Frisco, Texas. And she's been a coach for 6 years. She's the founder of Team Shine. She is a 7-star diamond in her first CBC and a 1-star diamond in her second CBC. And she leads a 2-time elite team. I am so excited to pass this on to you, Kristine.
Thank you, Z. All right, I will give her accolades later. So we're going to cut to the chase. I first have to say that I know everybody says this when they like talk on a call, but I'm usually like used to like a handful of people, and then it hit me like 45 minutes ago that I was talking to more than like my team. So I went and put on makeup, because if you know me, my hair is not washed and there's no makeup. So you should feel really special right now. I'm just telling you that. So I'm really excited that I have been absolutely honored and privileged to collaborate with the group of women that are putting on these calls. I am literally in awe in every single one of them. And I know we talk about it with each other. You look at the other person, you're like, no, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. I mean, I guess in the big scheme of things, we all are. But it is just an absolute honor and a privilege to be able to be part of this. And I hope to goodness that we provide every single one of you some really good value. You know, things you can take away, maybe a little bit of tough love, things to make you think and help move your business forward. Okay, so I'm going to cut to the chase. So I am going to talk about sharing your story. Okay, so I'm going to share mine really quick. And I told Z, I always cry when I share it, and I will try to make it as quick as possible. So for all my adult life, I suffered from depression and anxiety, which led to insomnia. I was really jacked up, and I've been on every kind of antidepressant, every kind of anxiety medication. I've seen therapists. We've moved a lot, so I was the idiot that would stop a medicine because she moved and think that that was okay and then wonder what was wrong with her. So we had moved to Texas, and I think I was actually on medication, but I don't know what was going on. Literally, I just checked out. I was a human being in a house with a husband and a kid, and I was serving no purpose. I just remembered it was, I didn't care. I did not care, and it was really, really, really bad. So my husband, I woke up one morning and he left me a note, and he said, by the way, because I was like, it just wasn't, I was checked out. Like I was heavily self-medicating. I was like, I was a disaster. And I was in a black hole. So I woke up one morning and he left me a note, and he was like, you need to get out and you need to get some help. So, okay. So there we are. Now, probably 2 weeks before, I was on Facebook scrolling because, but you know, I was just like mindlessly, and I saw something about a post about a challenge group. I had heard about Beachbody. My coach, like that's a whole other story, but I knew what Beachbody was, but I didn't really know what it was. And I saw a post about, you know, do a workout, drink a shake, have accountability. I don't know why I said yes. It had to be God. It had to be God. So I said yes, and I got Les Mills Pump, and I got my first bag of Shakeology. So I had literally just started. I was probably days in, and he was like, get out. So for whatever reason, with like a suitcase, you know, some clothes and my weights, because if you guys remember Les Mills Pump, you had the barbells and my shake. I drove down, thank God for a good friend, about 5 hours from here, and she let me stay with her. And I went to outpatient treatment for 5 weeks, and they diagnosed me bipolar. So Every morning I press play. I don't know why. I cannot tell you why. Press play every morning. Got up at 5 o'clock to an alarm. I drank my shake. I was at this place all day. And that's a whole other story. I can tell you stories. But my point is like I walk in the door, they diagnosed me bipolar. In the first 5 minutes I was there, and I started new meds that day. And like immediately, like I don't say I felt better, I slept. That's all I remember. I slept that night. Okay, so I'm sleeping, which never happened. And I was like, I mean, I was alone. Like I was alone, and I had to work through all of that. Press play, drink. I feel like Danielle today. Press play, drink your shake, do your personal development. Talk to a lot of people because I talk to a lot of therapists. So anyways, so I came home and I had lost some weight. And I fell in love with Shakeology. Like I'm psycho obsessed with it. But my point is I came home and mentally I felt better. I had a lot of work to do at home. He'll tell you a lot of making up to do and just reconnecting and being present. But I always tell people, you think being diagnosed bipolar would embarrass you. It was like I didn't care anymore. I did not care anymore. I had confidence. I felt so good, and it was Beachbody that was a huge part of that I was like, okay, this is amazing. I feel really good. I know I'm crazy because it's certified and I don't care. So I ran to my coach, and I always tease her too. I'm like, you are so lucky because you didn't have to invite me. And I said, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And so she's like, okay, this is what you do. So I signed on. It was Rainbows and Unicorns I signed on August 3rd. Now she did say she gave me the email. Here's some training, go do it. So I went and did the training. Get to Emerald. Doesn't make sense. Sign up your husband, get to Emerald. I went and did that. That's about all I did. And then I went to my first event, January 2013, by myself in Dallas with a room full of 1,200 people. So don't tell me you're scared to go do something, because I did it. And they talked about Success Club, and they showed a Success Club trip. And I was like, okay, this is something. So from there, I said, Success Club, no matter what, this is a business. Holy cow, this thing rocks. Okay, so there you go. Present day. All right, this is a business. I live and breathe it. I am obsessed, and I don't care. All right, love it. And I know not everybody's like that, but that's where I am. So for me, and then those in between, a thing that I have learned in all these years is the power of sharing our story. Okay, the thing I love about Beachbody is that they don't want us to be a stock photo. Okay, like stock photos drive me nuts, and I'm not just saying in our field, like you see them, and like I want to do a training for roading and fields people. No offense, like I think their product is valuable and fantastic, but I'm like, you need to talk about the story about why your skin looks great, not here's a stock photo, buy my Redefine and my roller. I got the roller, it works, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, you can't. The art of storytelling, and so many trainings that you do within Beachbody, like whatever, I don't care if it's within Beachbody or outside of Beachbody, like within network marketing, whatever, the art of storytelling is how you are going to connect with people, okay? People need to know who you are, okay? And I know, well, here's the thing. I tell people, I don't know if I had an advantage, because by the time I was a coach, I just didn't care anymore. But I had 40 years of fear and insecurity and being the doormat and being the yes person, that maybe, I don't know if that made it easier to tell my story, but my story, I mean, to some people it's kind of embarrassing. People reach out to me, they're like, oh my gosh, they're like, I don't want to have to take pills. And I'm like, are you serious? I don't have a choice. Like, but I have to be that voice for people so they understand. And there is someone in your situation, we all have crap, okay? But if you're hiding behind a stock, and I'm not saying everybody has stock photos, but if you're hiding behind like just this facade of like, my life is perfect or this, they cannot connect with you. And so that's when like I find myself sometimes being like, okay, why? I'm just posting something to post. And I know we've all been there because I still do it, but you have to be yourself. You have to be authentic. You have to let people know who you are. And that is so, this is something that stuck out to me. When I was a new coach, like we all have like that, Lindsay Matway was really, not that she's not super popular now, dang. But I don't know, maybe some of you that started when like 6 years ago, she was like really that, I don't know if you would call her like an Amy Silverman now or whatever, because she's still Lindsay, she's top 10, but I hope you know what I'm saying. But my point is to me, she was like and she still is an OLBL. I'm putting my foot in my mouth. I hope you know what I'm saying. my point is she was new to me. Okay. She was just like, she was very into telling her story in the beginning, because she was still growing her business. And I told someone, I'm like, she keeps telling her story. Like, okay, I've already read that. And they're like, she's not talking to you. She's talking. There's so many eyes on you all the time. So you can't think, oh, they've heard my story. They need to hear it over and over and over and over again. And I get in fault with that. Sometimes I don't tell mine enough. Okay. They need to connect with you. They need to connect with why you're a coach. No one cares that you're a Beachbody coach. They really don't. They care. Beachbody is our platform that we use to connect with the people that connect with us that need our help. Does that make sense? So like you have to, and I know I saw someone say they were scared to take your transformation pics. I've been scared to post stuff. And you know what you do? You either do, I shouldn't say this, you do a shot of tequila and then you post and run, or you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it. And it's, there you go, Abby said it. It's simple as that. You literally, there's another thing. You cannot overthink in this business or it will debilitate you, okay? So like you just have to, you're the only one who ever sees all your posts. There you go, there you go, there you go. I love it. So, I mean, that's really like, I don't have a whole lot, like I don't have like step by step of what to do. I never do, ask my team, but it's just, I think being real and being you, being just who you are and not just a coach, but who you are as a human being so that people can connect with you. They want to join your challenge group instead of like stock photos challenge group. So that's all I have. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if we want to wait till the end. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Somebody tell me what to do.
Let's do questions now since our topics are so different.
Okay, perfect. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Or did
so Kristine, I have a question for you. Maybe not for us leaders, but for newer coaches. So I know I personally get a lot of coaches that are really good at sharing their stories to me, but they're more concerned about having that really pretty graphic up to share their photo. Or they overthink, I get this a lot, they overthink the Canva art, and then they finally, or they're putting their selfie together and they take, what do we do, 5,000 selfies before we come up with the perfect one, right? And then by the time they overthink their post or whatever they're going to do, it's already 10, 11 o'clock at night, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a bad time to post because we all follow our insights and see when our traffic's on and yada, yada, yada. But what would you say to those those coaches, new or seasoned coaches, that overthink what they need to say, or if they're saying too much, or what part of their story they need to share? Like, what would you say? Like, how would they breadcrumb their story into their posts?
Screw Canva. Sorry. I mean, what do you need Canva? You need a picture of you. Remember, like it used to be that we would do pick, play, post, and then we would put something over here, we would do something over there. It's a picture. And I suck at pictures, and I know I should take 50 selfies. Ask Lincoln. I take like 2, and I call it a day. The lighting's bad. The lighting's bad. And listen, but I'm also, like, maybe that's why I'm not like, 15-star diamond 20 times over. But I actually sent to my new coaches today, Melanie Mitchell. I found it on YouTube searching for something else. She does her Business Tip Tuesday or whatever, and it was talking about like starting out as a new coach and how it doesn't have to be perfect. And she goes, I go back and look at pictures I took and they're hilarious because it's so dark and it's so whatever. And she's like, who cares? You have to, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, you can't be in a dark room and no one knows it's you and it's just black. You have to guess who this is. But that's not what matters. That, like, breadcrumbing is, okay, here you go. Tell your story. Like, just say a little bit about who you are. I'm not going to say what I just said and be like, join my challenge group or my team. It's like, here's who I am. And then, like you said, Vicki, that's like breadcrumbing. Oh, wow. Okay. I get messages from people, and to this day, they haven't bought a challenge pack, but they know that it's a place in which they can come, that maybe one day they will, right? So, but then it's also like, I'm very bad at call to actions, and this is going to be recorded, but it's something in which I need to work. But if you say, okay, if you felt like this, I run these groups and, because here's like, you have to remember we're a brand. And that's, again, what I love about Beachbody. They want us to be us. And so, Z's expecting, so expectant moms are not, plus I'm like 100 years older than them, they're not going to want to probably be in my challenge group, that like, when you tell that story and say, hey, I'm doing this, they're going to be more inclined to want to work with you. Does that make sense? But as far as Canva, that stuff doesn't matter. Like that, honestly, I don't even know how to use it. So, I hired an assistant finally, and I don't pay her very much for graphics, but they make, like, but I don't use a graphic to post a story. Like I used a graphic to say, congratulations, you made Success Club. That's whatever. Okay. Sorry. What do you do?
A lot of questions. Do you see them, Kristine?
Yeah. What do you do? Oh, what do you recommend for those who struggle with identifying their story? I hear many coaches are still trying to identify themselves in this business and trying to figure out who their people are and what they're about. It makes perfect sense. Okay. And I spent a lot of time on this, and I'm still trying to figure it out, because sometimes I'm like, you're not my avatar, but I'm going to work with you anyways. So I'm not going to turn anybody down. All right. So, and I don't mean that bad, but I'm just saying a person's a person, and if they want to work with you, I'm going to work with you. So one thing that I did, hold on, where is she? No, I can't find her. So like I created a person, and I cannot remember the name of the training I did, but it was about sitting there and writing out like your ideal person. Like mine at the time was like, she's in her 40s and she has dealt with some, struggles in her past. I may have put mental health issues, but she's overcome them. And she likes fashion, and she likes sports, and she likes, just kind of jotting down your ideal person and then speaking to her. One thing I will say, and someone just taught me this recently, is that you want to take your struggles, but you also want to talk about how you overcame them. And that's part of your story. If you're still going through that, share that too. Hold on a second. You don't think your story's special enough. That's personal development. I'm sorry that you are freaking amazing. And if you don't think you are, then you need to, I just started reading Girl Wash Your Face, and then Mastering Your Mean Girl Code. You want me to keep going? That is a fourth vital behavior. And can I tell you something? Last week I sucked. And I realized, I told Lincoln, my husband, I'm like, I don't know what I did like maybe 1 or 2 days of personal development. So I'm not saying like try to be mean, but that's you. Yeah, you are special. Everybody, here's something I learned too. And when I learned about storytelling, everybody has a story, okay? Everybody has a story. You need to tell your story, because guess what? Someone's sitting there at home thinking they don't have a story either. And when they hear your story, they're like, oh wow, her story's like mine. I do have a story. So does that help, or am I being too feisty? Would be a long post. 45, I'm 46, I'm almost 46. So whatever. I've got coaches in their 50s and they rock. I know what you're saying, 45 years of story. Okay, snippets. I'm sorry, I mistook that. I thought you were saying you're 45. You have 45 years of story. Snippets. All right, you can't say when I was born, but absolutely talk about different periods, and you breadcrumb it, and you want to maybe tell your story one day and then 2 days later tell another part. And that might be something you want to write down. As far as decide what part of your story to share. Okay, I get it now. Sorry, I don't want to talk forever because I want Z to talk. So I think for now, like, and you guys can help me with this, and maybe this is something like, this is like a whole other conversation. Someone just told me recently though, is that if I focus on like all that despair I went through, you tell a little bit of your background, but they're like, you want people to see you overcame. You talk about where you were and where you are now. They want to see like the victory instead of like the despair. And I don't want to say negativity, because I used to be negative. Ask Lincoln. Oh my gosh, I was bad. No one would be around that. So I don't know if that helps or not. Does that help? Greta, does that help? I don't know where Greta is. I'm sorry. Does that help a little bit? Greta, you can message me. I will definitely help you. I'm not kidding. I will help you. I know I'm serious when I say that. I know this is definitely a women-driven business, so how bring your story as a guide to others? Because for women, it seems like talking to other ladies seems as simple. As a guy, it seems like a huge struggle. Okay, wow. That's okay. It seems like talking to other ladies seems simple. For guys seems like a huge struggle. Okay, so badass Terry. Is that like, where is Terry? Are you wanting, I know Mike Fitzpatrick said last week his market was women. You know, he's like, that's just for him. But is your market, is it women too? Where is he? I saw him earlier. You want to unmute yourself? Where'd you go? Hello?
Sorry.
I know, it's okay. I just can't find, there's so many people in here. This is fun. Oh, hi, I see you, Coach Badass Terry. Okay, so can you kind of elaborate on that, please?
It seems like as far as women talking to other women, it seems a lot easier. But for a guy to reach out, it seems to be a struggle for me to, I mean, it's kind of easier talking to guys because, I mean, it's just like, hey, man, what's up? You know, but to get to the woman, to talk to the woman's side, it seems to be a struggle for me, at least.
Is that who you're
wanting? Trust me,
to?
I'm a very outspoken person. So for me to be able to struggle to talk to people is a struggle in itself.
Are you talking about posting or like inviting?
I would say more posting than inviting.
Okay, so you're like, you are fine with like reaching out to people and talking to them in personal messages?
Right.
Okay. I'm not, oh man, where's Lincoln? Well, Lincoln doesn't do, he's like my back office. Hold on. How would you bring your story? Oh my God, I don't know. Does anyone else know how to answer that question? I feel really bad. It's definitely a women-driven business. How do you bring your story as a guide to others? Can someone chime in? I heard someone on mute.
I would say
thank you, Z.
We do have a good number of men that lead their teams, right? Like I know we have a lot of spouses that kind of help us out, but there are like Scotty Hobbs. If you're not following him, you should be. I know there's obviously the Fitzpatricks that are awesome. Joy just said her hubby leads his own groups. So I would find those people and maybe see someone that kind of leads in a way that you would. My husband is like just starting to jump into running the business himself as well. And he like randomly on Instagram met this coach out of Canada. And they kind of became like success partners. And they're just like bouncing ideas off of each other. So yeah, the Fitzpatricks, I mean, that I would agree with that one for sure. But there are men in this business that are doing a great job. And I would say, I would actually challenge you to look at that as a positive, as an advantage that you have over us. Because how many women do we know that don't already know a Beachbody coach, right? Like that's our challenge. And I'm big on like taking any excuse and turning it into a positive. So for us, like, yeah, it helps being a female. It helps because we can connect with other women. But I will say the male market is really untapped. And then like think about the next program that's coming out, Lift 4. Like that's such a great program to be a guy right now. I think you could easily market that to both men and women. I don't think it's one that's going to be a struggle marketing for both. So follow the Fitzpatricks, follow Scotty Hobbs, find maybe a new male coach. We've got to have some coaches on this team that we could probably bring together that are guys. There is nothing limiting men. That's a limiting belief. Totally agree 100% with Joy. So I would actually look at that and say you've got a major advantage if you choose to look at it that way.
I'm going to chime in super quick. Sorry, guys. I was just going to say, in addition to that, if you're struggling with what to post and who to market to, maybe make a list of 10 to 15 things that you enjoy and start breadcrumbing those things, because then you're going to find your guys, or maybe even discover that you have some women that enjoy the same things, and that's who you're going to start building relationships with.
Was that Melissa?
It was. Sorry, I'm a hot mess. You guys, I look the same as you guys saw me this morning, so it's not happening.
No, and that's another thing too, is like my new coaches, I tell them like you have your 5. So 5 things about you. Because remember, we're not a Beachbody stock photo. This is the platform in which we use. All right. So I always joke, here's an example. Melissa, that was awesome. Faith, family, fitness, fashion, fun, football, and travel. So they're not all extra on purpose. So those are things in which we talk about. And those are people, like those are things in which you're going to attract. That was really good. I apologize. I couldn't help with the man question. Those were really awesome. Okay, are there any other questions? Because I want to pass it along with you. Unless there's more questions. But here's my thing. I know it's scary, and here I'm gonna say this last thing. I wasn't scared because I was scared for so long. Okay, things were really bad, and we still I tell people, if I told people the things Lincoln and I've been through, they wouldn't believe it. And I'm very open, but I'm not there's certain things you just don't talk about. But you have to understand, it's so freeing when you just screw it. Because someone said it to me the other day, are you going to let a no on social media ruin your life? They're either going to like your post or they're not, or they're going to watch you and, then 2 years later come back to you and say you've been awesome, or it doesn't matter. It's you have to be authentically you, and it will click. It's not going to be easy, but it will click so much more when you get over that fear. And if that means you read personal development from morning until night, in between your invites and your workout and your shake, then that's what you do. So I hope that helps. I don't know. Are we good? Okay, is everybody ready for Z? Okay, you are, because I'm going to make you ready. Okay, hold on a second. Now I've got to find it. Okay, so Z talks about me. All right, I feel funny because I'm trying to read her bio here. Okay, so we met when we met, and so I did not know who this girl was, and then I'm yeah, Z's this rock star. So if you don't know Z, she is, honest to God, one of the smartest people I have ever met, and I am not kidding when I say that, and I think I've known her less than 6 months. She is smart. I mean, her head, her mind blows me away. Okay, so let me just tell you. So Slingsby has been married to Todd for 2.5 years, and they are expecting their little rainbow baby, a girl, in July. So we're hoping she's not going to go into labor tonight. Okay. This is what blows my mind. She became a coach 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. She's 5-star elite last year. And when she did not tell me to tell you is that in 1 year, she went from diamond to 5-star elite. Her husband, who she built, just went into 2-star qualifying. Okay? Wow. 30 months in Success Club and founder of Team Inspired. And she lives in Fresno. Okay, so you guys, I'm telling you, if she told me to jump off a cliff, I would do it. So I'm excited to hear what she shares with you guys.
I love you. Seriously, you crack me up. Wow. Okay, I have to follow that now. First of all, when Kristine and I talked about this call and what we were going to bring to you guys, we decided to kind of split the call into two, and we felt these were both topics that we really needed, but they're very different in a way, although they both play such a big part in your business. And what I'm going to do right now is, this is going to be the tough love section of our call. I want you guys, we are so close to the halfway mark of this year. And Kristine and I were talking, we were thinking, how many of us started 2018, right? Because whenever you finish a year, what do? You start the year with big goals, right? Can I just get some hands? Raise your hand if you had big goals starting the year. I don't meet a lot of people who don't have a big goal starting the year. When you get to the halfway mark, and I can see your hands, that's the point where you're in one of two places. You've either got a head start on that goal and you're feeling really good and you got to keep that momentum going, or you've kind of found yourself right where you ended the year maybe, or where you didn't want to be. You're nowhere near the goal you set out for yourself and you're thinking it's impossible. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is, whatever goal you set for 2018, I guarantee every single person on this call, including us leaders, did not set a big enough goal that it requires 12 months. And you can still do it in 6, even if you've accomplished nothing. So that's the very first thing I want you to come to terms with, is wherever you're at for that goal, it never needed 12 months to begin with. It really didn't. There's no way anybody on this team, unless maybe you're a brand new coach and you were trying to beat Melanie Mitro this year, set a goal big enough for 2018 that even if you've accomplished nothing, you need 12 months to do. period. So you need to come to that understanding with yourself and tell yourself, like, wherever I want to be, I can do that in 6 months. That goal is possible in 6 months. The next piece that I want to talk about is, okay, how do we actually get there? So regardless of what happened the first few months of the year, what do we do to hit whatever goal that is in the second half of this year? Okay. There is has anyone ever heard the saying, chop wood, carry water? Chop wood, carry water? Just maybe a couple hands. So my very first job I ever had, my boss used to always talk about chop wood, carry water, chop wood, carry water. And it's, the saying goes that during enlightenment, when you're trying to find like this place of Zen, it's a Buddhist saying, when you're trying to find enlightenment, during enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Think about chopping wood. Like, that is a difficult task. That is a task that never ends. It's one of those that has no end date. You just have to constantly do it again and again. And same with carrying water. This is not like water like this, guys. This is like 2 big pails. Probably there's like a stick on your back and you're walking and you're carrying this water. And if you don't chop wood and you don't carry water, you can't survive, right? Because that wood is probably keeping you warm and that water is what you're surviving off of. And these are the tasks that as you're trying to get to enlightenment, you have to do. But when you get to enlightenment, you still chop wood and carry water. These things never go away. So if you look at the person that we all have someone that we look at that we consider a very successful person. They are chopping wood and they are carrying water, regardless of the temperature, regardless of how they feel. They are chopping wood and they are carrying water. And these things happen every single day, sometimes multiple times throughout the day. That is where they are actually succeeding. It's not in the big stuff. All right. Just remember, when you think about our business and chopping wood, carrying water, that we all live in different climates, right? So some of us have to chop more wood than others. And you can't look at our business activity tracker and say, I sent the 3 invites that Beachbody told me to send, and I'm not Hidden Success Club, because I might need to chop more wood than Kristine does, because maybe my climate requires it. But maybe she gets to carry a little less water. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. All I know is that I'm sure there's someone else out there that had to chop wood and carry more water than me, and they got the job done. All right? So keep that in mind, that the amount of chopping wood and carrying water that we have to do, it could be different for all of us. So if the formula you're using isn't working, you've got to chop more wood and carry more water. What is chop wood and carry water in our business? What are those actual activities? So at the end of last year, I created this little document that I had some of my coaches fill out. And I want you guys all, I hope you have a piece of paper out, because I want you to rate yourself on a few things that I'm going to tell you. 5 being, I'm a rock star, or like, yes, I'm doing that. 1 being, this is not my area, like I'm sucking, I'm not doing it, right? And nobody's going to see this but you. I'm not going to have you guys send it to anyone. So please be as honest and real as possible. So number 1, I consider myself an active coach that works the business. So 5 is I totally agree. 1 is I disagree. Next one, I am an active participant on our team page. Number 3, and this is if you have a team call, so it might be not applicable to some of you guys, but I join our team call or listen to the replay every week or every month or however often there's a team call. Next one, I listen to the National Wake Up Call every week or the replay in the same week. Next one is I have a success partner. I hit Success Club every month. So 1 to 5 scale. I use some sort of daily business tracker or power hour sheet, or I work off a daily task list every single time I work my business. I work my business during a set time without distractions. Next one is I participate or run a challenge group every single month. I invite at least 3 people to the Beachbody opportunity or a challenge group every single day. And that's 3 minimum, but that's every single day. I invite 3 people to the Beachbody opportunity or a challenge group. I spend at least 10 minutes a day on personal development, scale of 1 to 5. How true is that for you? I initiate a chat with my upline coach frequently. You guys can determine what that means. Remember, you're rating yourself. So 1 to 5, what does that mean to you? I initiate a chat with my upline coach frequently. I share on social media about my fitness journey and business at least 3 times per week. So that's not all the other things you post about, just business or fitness 3 times per week. This is over a long period of time, right? So you're doing that consistently, 1 to 5 scale. I have approached every single person on my dirt list. So dirt lists are like your friends and family to share what I do. And the very last one is I take initiative when it comes to running my business. And I'm going to give you guys, I Googled the official definition of initiative, and I want to read this to you guys. It is the ability to assess and initiate things independently. And then the second definition was the power or opportunity to act or take charge before others do. Okay, so we went through all of these and you guys gave yourself a rating. I want to first say that no way am I telling you you have to be a 5 or a 10 or a perfect on every one of these. That is not the goal. There's none of us leaders on this call that would rate ourselves in all of these categories as the highest or in many categories. But I am going to tell you guys this. 1, you have to be self-aware of where you are not a 5, okay? Number 2, one of those items or 2 of those items is what your path to success looks like. There might be something on here, right? Like we were on a call, all of us earlier this morning with Danielle Natoni, and she's like, I don't do coach sneak peeks, right? And that was so cool to hear because there's so many coaches that do that. And she's like, it's not for me, I don't do it. So there might be something I said today that's not for you and you don't do it. That doesn't mean you have to do everything on this list perfectly. But I promise you, when I was reading these out, every single one of us had a moment when we heard something or maybe 2 things I said where you're like, oh, that's the one I wish I didn't have to be honest about this right now, right? There was one that, yes, I can post the questions. It's a Google form actually, so I'll just give you guys the link. There was 1 or 2 on there that stuck out to you. And it kind of felt like, oh my gosh, she just hit me with that one. It kind of hurt. I know, cause I did this last year and I went through it looking at it and I was like, oh, ouch. Like that kind of, I know what it is, right? You know what it is. That's what you have to be. That's what you've got to chop wood, carry water every single day on, is that 1 or 2 or 3 places that you know you're not being consistent, that you know you're not chopping wood and carrying water. Because it is in those areas, those are, when I looked at our business, I actually like printed out the business activity tracker too. And I was like, did I miss something? And I didn't. That form has more stuff on there, but it literally is like our business, chopping wood, carrying water. These are the items. These are the areas. Your little secret sauce is in there. All right. So I like activities and I like writing things down. So we're going to do 1 more, but this one we are going to send to our upline coach. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys get off this call and you don't send it, like you shouldn't have even hopped on the call. Like if you can't even just do that one thing, I'm hoping every single one of you, like get off the call and email this part to your sponsor coach or your upline coach or whoever holds you accountable. Because that's like the first task, right? Like you hopped on this call. So I am expecting that we all do this. All right. And I want you guys to write this down. I want you to write down May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You can even just number it if you want. Just, the 5, 6, whatever the month number is. And I want you guys to write down for each one what you're going to hit for Success Club and the number of new coaches you're bringing onto your team. And I don't even want you to put down goal, because sometimes that word drives me crazy. It's like people hear goal and it's like, if things were perfect, I'd hit it. No, just like put it down. This is what I'm going to do. So what are you hitting for Success Club every single month for the rest of the year, and how many new coaches are joining your team? Write that out for every single month. And you don't have to do it on the call with me, but do it before you do anything else after the call, because I want you guys to email your upline coach like as soon as we're done. The next one is, what 5 days of the week are you going to commit to working the business? And for some of us, that's 30 minutes. Some of us, that's an hour. Some of us, that's 2 hours. That's for you to decide, right? I'm not going to tell you how much you need to work your business. It just has to be in line with your goal. Like if you want to be a 6-figure earner and you're going to work 1 hour a day, I don't think that's possible. It's not. But if you want to make an extra $200 to $300 a month and you're going to work an hour a day, I think that's totally possible if you follow something, whether it's this or maybe your team has one. So you just have to make sure it's in line. And I'm a big fan of 5 days a week. I do not work this business 7 days a week. Don't talk to me on my days off. Okay. And so 5 days where I will never miss, 2 days that I'm off. However, when I was in corporate and I had to work my full-time job 5 days, I did work 7 days a week because I wanted to get out of there fast. So you guys got to figure out what's right for you. But I want you to email in the email, I want you to put what 5 days you're going to work. If it's 7 for you, that's up to you. The number of hours you're committing to each day. So is it 30 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? What are you committing to? I want you to include a copy of the tracker you're going to use. So on my team, we have a different tracker that we use. But if a coach wants to use this one, this is great too. I don't care what you use. Just make sure you're using something in that time period, right? Like, so whatever time you're going to work. So I want you to tell your coach, what are you going to use? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be your team power hour sheet? Did you make your own? But have a system. Where will you finish December 31st, 2018? And so help me God, please nobody put diamond on that. Don't put diamond. You want to know why I don't want to hear diamond? Because diamond, you guys, we have 6 months of the year. So if you're going to be a diamond coach, that's totally fine, but put a number to it. Say, I'm going to have 30 coaches on my team and I'm going to get to diamond, just like Joy said, in 30 days. And then I'm going to focus on volume. So I'm going to have a team of 30 people. I don't care if you're a diamond at the end of the year, that's great, but you got to have a team. Put a number associated with that, right? Like say I'm going to be a 30 member strong diamond, or a 40 member strong diamond, right? But don't just put diamond. Don't do that to yourself, because 8 coaches with 2 emeralds, by the end of the year, you're not going to do it. I promise you, if you just put that. Half of them are going to quit before you even make it to the end of the year. So if you want to be a diamond at the end of the year, you've got to put like 20, 30, 40 people on that list as well. Okay. And then go back and make sure how many new coaches you're signing up each month is in line with that, right? Because if you want to have a team of 30 people by the end of the year and you're only recruiting 1 a month, like the math isn't going to make sense, right? So put a number associated with how big you want your team to be. It's not just about the star ranks. Like think about, I want to have a team of 30 people. Maybe that's your goal. Okay. I'm going to end on one last thing, and I want you guys to end the email to your coach with kind of like, this is like, I hope the one thing you take away from this, and that's the word initiative. So end the email with how you will take initiative in your business. Is there a certain area today that you're not taking initiative? Because I think out of everything I see, that right there, like taking initiative, guys, lift 4, right? You guys know that tomorrow or today, I think we just released new information on, the product guide released today. Are you waiting for someone to teach you the program? Are you hopping on? Are you going to learn it? Are you going to explore it? Are you going to think about a plan? So it doesn't have to be out lift 4 though. I just kind of use that as an example, but I want you to end the email with how you are going to take initiative as a business owner. Even if it's your first day as a coach, how are you going to take initiative? All right, you guys. Any questions? Don't be scared.
I don't know about anyone else, but you made me like so motivated. I don't want to go eat dinner right now. I want to go work my business right now.
You guys all good?
No, I had one. Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay. Do you understand why I wanted to mute myself and listen to her talk? I mean, here's something that she didn't say, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Z, is that she is a six-figure earner in less than 3 years. Okay, so I try to tell my coaches that like it happens in your own, like on your own timeline. But I'm talking about, this shows what like hustle does, and her business savvy blows my mind. But I know someone else asked, would you mind giving us that list of questions?
Not at all. It was a Google Doc. It was like a Google Doc. So I'll just send you guys the link and you can see all the questions. There's a couple other questions that were like really specific to my team, but all the other ones are on there. So
Thank you.
I'll shoot that link over.
You guys got to have questions, please. Everybody's so shocked. They're like,
I don't think I said anything that probably requires like questions. I mean, if you guys have them, please do, and feel very safe. Like I mean, I want you guys to feel very comfortable, but I think a lot of it you just kind of have to do, and it's a lot of self-reflection. Yeah,
I do, because I know you have like a little niche that is different to people, and I know it's worked very well for you, and I know it well. But where do you do most of your recruiting?
Okay, so you might probably be surprised. Facebook is still superior to LinkedIn for me, but LinkedIn is a place I do like to spend a lot of time.
Okay.
Yes, and LinkedIn is a great opportunity, and I really do believe in it. But Facebook still is my bread and butter.
Okay.
Yeah. My Instagram's where I struggle, but that's the whole thing, guys. Is like I don't look at it and think like, oh my gosh, I can't be successful because my Instagram isn't that strong. It's like, okay, I'm going to find what works for me. Right. Like, and I think that's the message I want for you guys, is figure out what's going to work for you. But if you're not doing anything, nothing's going to happen for you. Things are still going to happen in the world, right? Like the grass is still going to grow. Things are still going to move. People are still going to join Beachbody. And I think that's like sometimes that fear is also what drives me, is like, if I'm not going out there telling people about what we do, someone else will, because this company is doing amazing right now. So if you do nothing, things are still going to happen. Just not for you. I know that's like super blunt and painful, but it's true. Don't miss the tidal wave. Yeah, seriously, it's happening, and people are joining. And sometimes I feel like they're joining so fast I can't even get to everybody. You guys good? What do I say to folks who are having a hard time setting a goal? Like, how many coaches per month? How many SC points? Obviously 10 or more if you want to run, but I find it hard to make a goal. Okay, so first of all, I do think talking with your coach or your success partner, because they know you, they know what, when I talk to my coaches, I can always tell you when I think they're setting a goal that's way too low, because I know them, right? So it is important to bounce your goals off of someone else, all right? The other thing is, like, you have to do what's right for you. There's some people that really feel like they want to shoot for a really big number and they're totally fine missing it, but then they still end up in a good spot. That's not me. If I set a goal, I am up all night until that goal is going to happen. It eats away at me. So I might put a scary goal down, but it's never going to be a ridiculous goal. I don't function well with that, right? So I would say look at your 2018 goal. And when I say goal, like look at rank, look at income goals, and then work backwards from that and divide it by how many months we have left, see if it's doable. And then the other thing too is you have to ask yourself, am I willing to put in the time and effort to actually make it happen, right? Like it's very exciting to set the goal, but the chop wood and carrying water to get to that goal is not exciting at all, actually. There's nothing exciting about it at all. And so you have to ask yourself, like, okay, I want to recruit 5 new coaches this month. I want to recruit 10 new coaches this month. Are you really willing to do that activity, right? And understanding your own ratios, because maybe there's a coach out there who talks to 10 people and signs on 5. Maybe you're someone that has talked to 100 to get 5, right? Maybe you need 200 to get to 5. Yeah, totally, right? What Darren Hardy says, the mundane is what gets us to success. So you have to know your numbers. And if you don't, that's how, the more activity you do, the more you start understanding your own ratios. Am I willing to talk to 100 people to get 5 or 10 or whatever that is? Am I really willing to do that? Am I willing to talk to 100 people and have frustrating conversations 100 times? Maybe you are, and that's awesome, and you should do it. If you're not, then you got to change your goal. Does that help? Yeah. Yeah, it's totally a tough pill to swallow. I know. I agree with that. All right, you guys gonna, I'm expecting to get emails, so I really hope all the other coaches on this team are gonna get emails with your specifics. That's the first step, guys. Put it down on paper. And if you wanna share like the first half of our call, like what stood out, or the first half of what I covered, and that's totally fine. You don't have to, but if you wanna share like what area you feel like you could have been a 5 in and you're like, that's my area, then share it. That's up to you though. All right, you guys, have a good night.